Well, howdy, Super Robot fans. My name's Austin. Welcome back to the Super Robot Wars Archives. We're going to be playing some more Alpha this evening, and we are jumping back into Byston Wells. We just arrived there last mission. I guess much to the chagrin of Show, we kind of got that man killed by accident. Whoops. And yeah, he's fine. He's fine. The suit just died. And from the end of last description, we are on our way to Rao to get the Argama fixed up after the damage it sustained by being attacked by Drake in the Will Whips. We have a pretty straightforward opening here. I guess while we're here also, it's really hard for me not to look at Nay's face and, Knee, see like skeleton kind of nostrils because of how they did the shading on his nose. It's very funny to me. Yeah, so the Byston Wells team is explaining to the rest of us exactly sort of the like geopolitics that are going on. The world is split between being like pro and anti-Drake, though there are some neutral factions, which sounds very much like our planet. Drake is sort of unopposable at this point. The country that he commissioned a country to build him the Will Whips, and as soon as he was built, the first thing he used the Will Whips on was that country to annihilate it, so that nothing could like be built to counter him. But also that like before Shot showed up and introduced the Aura Battlers, this world was like pretty well stuck in like the Middle Ages, medieval Europe kind of level of technology. And because Drake seems to like largely control all of the Aura Battlers, it's very hard for practically anyone else to be able to fight then. Because like, I mean, just in general, having a weapon versus not having a weapon is like a very one-sided fight. But when that power is so potent, when every time we talk about the Aura Battlers, everyone's like, oh no, they're really scary. It's like unlimited power. The disparity is like drawn an even sharper contrast. And to that point too, a number of players are concerned with what this would mean for the like surface if the Aura Battlers were ever to be released there. That we were told that Aura power is the strongest out of surface dwellers, and a lot of the power that's happening here is like kind of muted. So as scary as they seem, it will be even more terrifying if they can get to the surface. We'll talk about what that was in a second once we get to objectives. But one last you know what? No. We'll do some philosophizing later. We'll go over the map for now. Okay. So that's not the right one. There are two the actual like scenario objectives are going to be very different than what we're actually going to do. So I guess just don't worry about that. That back line that they marked, we need to get our units to this back line. That is sort of the like way we're signifying that we're going off. That's how we're getting to Rao. If we do so in 8 turns, which is the absolute limit, we will lose 2 expert points. If we do so in, how many is it? 7 turns, we will lose 1 expert point. If we do it in 6 turns, nothing happens. If we do it in 5 turns, we gain an expert point, and if we do it in 4 turns, we gain 2 expert points. I was very jazzed about this. I like the sliding scale. What else can happen? Oh, I guess, do we have a scan somewhere? I think Roberto and Napoli had one, but they don't seem to be deployed. Oh, did Keen have one? I feel like... Hold on. No, she did not. Okay. I guess there was an easier way of doing this. No, in fact, we do not have scans. Okay. I was going to scan the bosses, but... if possible, seeing as we didn't get to use Todd and Y, if possible, I would like to get him in this game. If that is a thing, don't tell me. But I imagine if it is going to be, it is probably going to be involved with Sho fighting him or shooting him down. The fact that we got like a cutscene out of it last mission to me has good, like, gives me hope that it's just combat. But we'll find out. Okay, that is everybody. We do kind of need to full send. I wonder if it's get everybody or get just one person. This is Gallia. Galalia. Galalia. Yeah, there was an extra syllable in there. And that it's in a new aura battler, but it feels kind of like Monster of the Week style. With the new aura battlers. Yeah, so the element that I said that we were going to talk about in a minute. Marvell, I think, was the one that said this last time, that, or maybe it was Shot. No, it was Shot talking to Ingram, that Byston Wells could just as easily be described as the home of all souls. This is potentially the place where humans go when they die. So obviously that has our team philosophizing some, being confronted with the idea that they're just like in heaven, or maybe they have died. But Brooklyn immediately thinks to his dead girlfriend, seeing as we were just thinking about them like a scenario or two ago. Let's see how good Nay does. And wonders if she's been reincarnated here as somebody. But I paused there for a second, because describing that as being reincarnated is also just not usually how heaven works, but it is a very Japanese way of how heaven could work. But we're not here to get into that part. Instead, it is ever the nihilist, ever the pragmatist, ever the scientist. Ingram is like, nope, when people die, they're gone. They get annihilated. End of story. This isn't heaven. Souls don't go here. There are no souls. Just very, very cold and unfeeling. But the translation makes it sound like it is in a way that feels a little bit more dismissive, that he's trying to hide something. He did say before that oh, we do have a scan. I knew we had a scan on somebody. There we go. Yeah. That Ingram was able to look up Brooklyn, and that he had a significant other, and that she is presumed dead. Which feels I don't know, that feels leading enough to me that I would be really? I feel like he knows where she is. I feel like she is alive and he knows where she is. From just a video game design standpoint, I think I said this when she theoretically died, but the fact that we had to make a significant other and then immediately have her killed off just does not feel like how video games want to do things. So I am suspicious of that actually being of her actually being gone. I feel like we're setting up really heavily that the Grungust gets we're gonna get an upgrade to the Grungust, and it's gonna be a double seater so that our girlfriend can be in the driver's seat. That was weird that none of the rest of them attacked though. They had some fine attacks. This one, whatever. Great. Yeah, we don't care about that. We probably aren't going to get to kill everything, I suspect. We just need to kill the stuff that's literally in our way. Actually, let's pause for a second so I can figure out whether it's one or all. that need to get to the line. Okay, yes, it is all allied units. Which makes sense, so we couldn't just like stack up, like we couldn't put like the hyper booster in addition to a booster on someone that had Excel and just like do this in 2 turns. Okay. We could get to an Aura Slash, maybe. If we're going to take out Galilea, we're going to need to do it this turn. Everyone needs to move. We can't stay in place, which does make some of these attacks somewhat harder. Like, Ingram is severely hampered by that. Right? He has 5 movement here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he literally can't get there in time. Oh, well, that's a real shame. Oh. Well, that just took the wind right out of my sails. Okay, so I guess in order to do this in 4 turns, we needed to give him some boosters. Okay. Well, or maybe not. Maybe I moved him to the right instead of just forward before. Well, at least we'll still get an expert point. Like, we've already missed a couple, so I don't think it's the end of the world if we miss some. I don't remember what the like amount of leeway there is on expert points to like seeing the ending. But like this is fine, especially if we have 2 turns now. Like this is totally fine. Let's get Ryusei up here. Oh, man, you know what? Hold on, we might be devilish. If we can get Ingram to die, we can that would be fine. Right? Hold on. Oh no, never mind. Okay, no, never mind. It's if we lose anybody, we lose the scenario. So never mind. But that would have been incredible if the solution was just like, nah, just sack him off. It'll be fine, fam. I guess this was also a terrible way to do this. I should have checked beforehand what her dodge rate was. Okay. So, given the fact that we have time, we killed 2 things. Okay. Or did Keen just? Oh, Keen just took some damage last turn. That's right. Okay. Right, because we fought this and we did barely any damage to it. I'm just thinking, can we get rid of something that's in the way of Sho to like get him to move up farther faster? You don't have a willpower yet. Because we want to be adjacent to like actually engage in like a real attack. But maybe we don't have to then if we're going to be here for 5 turns anyway. Yeah. Yeah, instead we just like, while we still can hit these with beams, just do that. And then I think stay as far away from the boss as possible. This thing is way too fragile. Right, like go here. And then and then just save the bosses for future turns. Is that dedication? I think that's dedication. Right? If we fight Galilea next turn and then save the combat with Todd and Sho, either for just like they'll do it on enemy phase for us, or or we could like land on this base, attack, and then once the turn is over, that will still like count as us having moved all the way over there. I'm assuming is how it's going to work. That is how it has worked in the past. That said, we do have 3 people who can all be in range now. So, you know what? Hold on. We do enough damage. This is already kind of... This, like, all of Byston Wells is going to be scuffed, I think. So, let's try it. But good to know that we're going to, like, need to count that stuff. I just didn't think I had to, because we've yet to ever experience pressure that required us to have, like, built out correctly. It's good that we can still get an expert point without needing to build correctly. But, oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, right. So I don't think the 2 other of the Botons, Botun, yeah, I'm gonna say. The chi is supposed to be a t sound, I think. Yeah, right, because, like, this isn't going to do anything. There's no reason for that. Okay, so if we go here, you've got 6 movement, Marvell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, okay. As long as we're moving forward with Marvell in these next 2 turns, we will be okay. I think we may as well try this and see if she kills. No, she did not. Okay, that's a shame. This is a way to try and, like, get Show to get there. I guess it is still just strictly better to get Show adjacent, and rather than who is this? Rather than Keen, just like have Keen. We're gonna move her back a space. That feels awful, but she has 6 moves, so 1. I mean, I don't need to count it, right? She's in the same parallel with Marvell, so she can still do it. She can still get there next turn. Okay. There's no earthly way we are missing this. Given how everything has gone, we're gonna burn some spirits on it. Am I foolish? Oh, I guess, yeah, no, I guess that doesn't matter, right? Because we're just, never mind, that was dumb. I'm dumb. I was kind of counting like we could have moved back, but that would have just taken more space. Oh, so much scuff. Okay, this is fine. We can still just move Show up. Yeah. Turn your focus on... I guess we can still see what this combat's going to look like. 5%, I'm willing to risk that. I mean, not that I can do much else. We could not attack here and turn on a flash. But I think this is better. Yeah. This is a fun scenario. I like this. This is like, it's a nice little small bite-sized thing. But, okay. Hopefully this doesn't kill us, but this should be... Like, that counts for sure. Okay, great. That makes it a little bit easier. Okay. Dodge. Dodge. Nice. Cool. Could you attack somebody? Thank you. That's so clean. That's fine. Ryusei can take... Okay, he took way less damage last time. Oh, because they weren't melee range. They weren't melee range. Oh, that's also not Ryusei. That's the Ricochet. Never mind. That's also why. It looks close. It looks close. Yes, this thing can take hits all day. We don't care. Because it'll just snap off into the other form. That's fine. Maybe if we kill everything, it will just auto move us there. Because that has happened in the past before too. Like you know the missions where it's like move your battleship to this space, and if you destroy all the units, it just like sends your battleship over there on its own, right? How are we not landing these? We gotta look at their HP next turn and we'll save. Yeah, I don't know what having so many more expert points gracious. I don't know what having so many more expert points would do for me, but like if we did need them for whatever reason, it is nice to know that there is a way to like. It feels good that there is like a thing that we could theoretically try and calc to get them. You know, okay, one. If we're standing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we could be standing to this side of Galileo and still get in next turn if we've got 6 move. We do on the Dunvine. I'm just thinking if we can fortune, right? We could go here, do this. We can't use the Hyper Slash anyway because we don't have Aura Power level 3, so that's okay. We can, yeah, we're gonna fortune. We're gonna focus. And we're gonna flash just in case something goes wrong. Extra power doesn't, extra power might matter. These are both using swords, so we're still at risk of getting sword cut. I guess if we're gonna kill everything else, we may as well try and do that first, just in case for whatever reason Slash does not, like, just in case Slash can't get sword cut for some reason. Have Marvell go. I think we need this power, though. Yeah, have Marvell go here. We can at least get some XP out of it. Yeah, like, I don't think Nia and Keen are... Ni. I don't know what to call him. I feel like I've seen his name as Ni here, Nia in Y, and I've seen some people write Neil. Like, it's different every time. But I could see us, if we commit to the Dunvines, I could see us also using Marvell. She seems also, like, pretty proficient. She is doing all the things that Sho is doing. A little bit less, but I feel like Sho is a little bit overkill for some of these. She also has a Valor now. And she also has Aura Power level 3. That's also just because we're really giving her so many more levels. Yeah. Okay. If we are here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, okay. So you just need to move forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we can stand here. Then we have, like, this attack. I don't think this will matter much, but we have it, and it's not costing us extra turns, so we may as well do it. I'm, like, now just, like, so hyper-conscious of this because I've messed up so many small details. So let's save this to give her a kill if we can. You need 1 more kill. Okay, these all should be leaf. These all should be dead. For 1 turn, hold on, I gotta translate this. Okay, why don't we all try and learn some Japanese together when some of these things are like unfamiliar to me? Maybe we can all do this. I know a couple people in chat have talked about wanting to learn Japanese. So, we are looking at the spirit Kakuremi, which I'm going to tentatively call like hiding or like conceal for right now. And what it does is it prevents you from being targeted for a turn. We can see, look at the text at the top. Before the comma, we have Ikkai. Japanese counts numbers just fully differently every time. I from Ichi is the way you are going to like usually see that. And then you have different endings depending on the type of thing it is. A turn is counted as like a type of repetitive action, so that gets the ending of Kai. So Ikkai, Tan no Aida. Tan no Aida. That's like it's like kind of also like turn, it's like duration. So for the duration of a turn, um, we have. So the reason I want to point this out also is because I've like struggled with some of these kanji, and I like need you to know that this font is atrocious. So the character immediately after the kanji, those two things that are smooshed together, that's just teki. That is like enemy or like opponent. But it looks nothing like the kanji. I'll put it up on screen. I'll put the actual like normal looking kanji on screen. Like the right the right particle looks the same, but the left one looks nothing like it. Gotta. How do we pronounce this word for attacking again? I'm so bad at pronouncing this. This is like one of the words. The next two characters, like you see a lot in these games. I'm so used to looking at them without like thinking about what they actually say. Kogeki, sa ne nai. So, your opponent, in consideration for attacking, is not able to do so. Is like roughly how it translates. But like, yeah. So your opponents are unable to target you for attacks. Maybe that was like more long-winded than you wanted, but I think in fact it sounds like people kind of do want that. Maybe at the very least, it's like good to get me to practice my Japanese more. I've been very lazy about it recently, and this is like just an immaculate excuse. Every time I have to like do these little snippets, right? I think that's also maybe the thing with learning. I mean, Japanese definitely because of how dense it is, but just languages in general is that people expect to have to do this like really long, super intensive like workload, and that's just like not the case. Like you can just do snatches of it. Like while I was living in Japan, I would just pick a single kanji every day, and that's all I would like make myself responsible for, because anything more than that, and I'm like probably not going to remember it. So like, what's the point, right? I can push myself to do some more work, and theoretically learn these things, and like maybe I will retain them. But I think it just looks better on paper. It looks good on paper. It's the kind of thing that like bringing a really smart person looking book on the subway and reading it so people notice you're reading it, right? I can be really dramatic about adding lists and lists of kanji together. But like how often am I going to actually like? Am I actually going to like use them and remember them? Then, you know. But like that is also part of the thing with learning languages, right? Like I've not had to, oh, okay, this is so good. Yes, like this is really helpful to know. Like pushing Sho to level 25 last map definitely would have been a benefit. I mean, like we killed him by accident, so it's whatever, but he got aura power much earlier on than I was expecting to give him access to Hyper Aura Slash. I mean, I should have assumed because Marvell also got it in pretty quick order, but right, yeah, that's fine. I think that's fine because I think we can just do this with the Grungust. When we are in plane mode, how much movement do we have? We have 8. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay. I'm kind of hoping that if we kill everything, we're not gonna miss this. I'm kind of hoping that if we kill everything, it'll just end it for us. Drat, I thought I could come back, but I lost my train of thought. No. Okay. Okay, you will still be in range from here. And I think Ryusei will be if we do this. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. I just don't think that we could have done enough with the Aura Battlers to use them. I guess I didn't have that much health left. Nope. Darn. Okay. We are being forced to actually walk it in. That's fine. Okay. Only 1 skill point for us. It was something about the like, you know, push yourself, but like give yourself a like reasonable expectation to learn things. Just take stuff in like bite-sized chunks. There is I can't think of the name of it right now, but there is the like list of kanji everyone learns by year. Like you can all like if you like the idea of picking a kanji every day to learn, but you don't know where to start, like use that list and just start with first grade and then go, okay, what's the first kanji in first grade? Great, that's what we're going to memorize today. And that's all the more complicated it has to be. Like you can build yourself up to it, and you don't even have to do it like every day, right? You are allowed to do it as often or as infrequently as you'd like. Just that feels like a very normal pace to make sure that you're still doing something, or like do it every weekday, right? I am somewhat aggressively opposed to a lot of language learning software because they tend to be very narrow in their scope. They tend to be very directed by the people who write them. So if you want to learn, like if you want to actually learn Japanese, unfortunately, I don't think the Little Green Owl Menace is going to be that much help to you. It's going to have like very context driven because of the person who wrote it and how they use their Japanese, you know? Especially if you're a weeb like me and you want it mostly to consume media in its original language or to get like access to other media you wouldn't have otherwise had. Like a lot of Japanese is very codex dependent, so like stuff specific to video games is probably going to come up in video games, and like you should then just use those video games as points of reference, right? I mean, like you didn't see it because I cut it out, but like really, I'm playing without a translation, or I mean, I have a story translation, but like without a menu translation. And if I run to something I don't know, just like stop and look it up for a couple minutes. I've said it before, but I'll link it down in the description for this one too. But like Jisho, Jisho, is an immaculate resource. You can just like click through a list of kanji if you're trying to find something. You can just have to identify it by sight, and it will tell you what it is then. And like that's how I learned new kanji. Like that's what I just did. I just clicked through and went, okay, I know what the radicals are. What is this sound supposed to be? Or I can go, I know what most of the radicals are. Fill in the rest for me. It's a great resource. I really recommend it. But that's enough of a Japanese lesson for now. So let's jump back into the story. We just crossing over the threshold, over the border, we meet this girl named Ellie, Ede, and she is the former queen of the country that Drake destroyed when he got the Will Whips. And she's been out here in the mountains training her focus. She's trying to like boost her aura power. The translation does not make this clear, so we'll see if we can fill this in with more story later. She also describes herself as having like precognitive abilities, and I don't know if that's because of her level of aura power that she is precognition, or if that's just like a separate kind of force. But she does see great calamity approaching. I believe the translation calls it like a black star in the sky. But people with really like good, really not just powerful, but like calming and warming aura power will be necessary in order to prevent that calamity, and that the people she's looking at have that ability. She also notices that something is up with Ingram, that there's like he's just giving off vibes, to be a little more modern in my language, in a way that is different than the offness that Brooklyn is giving off. That Brooklyn seems like discomforted somehow, where Ingram seems like this is not a comparison that she is making. I'm going to make this comparison. That he's probably more like how Drake's power is. Or maybe there's like an overlap of like both positive and negative, but Ingram's feels misplaced where Brooklyn's feels mismanaged. That's like, there's like a very small kind of difference between those two things. But I think like knowing where their plots are going to go, I think we understand why that difference is being drawn. But I also like the difference that, you know, it feels very easy for one to slip into the other. Brooklyn could, if he allows himself to brood, turn into Ingram. But Ingram, with enough care and enough support, could theoretically turn back into Brooklyn. So, with all that, evil gang is discussing the future plans. Drake and co are they've received an invitation from another local kingdom, the Ku Kingdom, and the king of that the king there wants to welcome Drake to the unveiling of the Gaia Galig, which is going to be like another big powerful aura battleship. And Drake surmises that this is predominantly because he kind of that king just wants to watch Rao get annihilated by this this incoming onslaught. In discussing what that's going to look like, then the evil team mentions that Todd has not been seen since last he lost. And that's a little bit concerning. Like, he's very powerful. On one hand, it's like maybe good that he's like fueling his rage. He's like out there trying to go hunt something down. But on the other hand, that means he's sort of like uncontrollable, and like they need pawns to manipulate in order to be able to force an agenda. And Drake is very determined that the only way to improve things is through power. Like, that gets reiterated a couple of times here. So they're going to place burning. No, it's definitely not burning. That's just the Gundam pilot. Maybe it's just burn. Maybe was it Burn Bunnings? I think is what his name was. The Black Knight. From the original. He gets put in charge now of more of the forces. They figure that his wounded pride from losing in not this last mission, but the mission before that now, would like motivate him to want to be exactly the pawn that they need. With that, they also identify that Galilea is going to have sort of a similar reaction to what just happened, so that she will probably also I'm not sure they're given a gender in this translation. Galilea will want to also pursue an equal amount of vengeance. That they're also going to be equally as spiteful. But a third person is being added to this mix. Musei Po, who is Nike, the girl that they were trying to rescue. We've seen her a couple of times. We heard her get slapped. Oh, sorry, no, that just wasn't correct at all. Rimuru. Her music tutor, they're going to toss into an aura battler and send her out. She does not like fighting. She has no interest in fighting, but she has really, really high aura power. This feels very like Lala equivalent. This feels like we just have like a Lala stand-in, which I'm fine with. I think that's fun. Okay, we have next mission. I think we can see if this was actually worth it or whether I wasted so much money. Oh, wonderful. Okay, cool. Well, that will do things for me, I believe. There's nothing else. Yeah, no, nothing else really important. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know if those little like Japanese interludes are good. I can also make them like, if people like that, I can also like tighten them up a little bit and make them shorter, which will probably come with practice anyway. It might be context dependent on what word it is. But if I am pausing to translate something, I may as well like get all of us involved, right? You know? I guess at this point, so this will be the last recording I'm doing in this batch. So I don't know when this is coming out, and I don't know when I'll be recording in respect to it next. But without any like major spoilers, I guess, let me know, roughly speaking, how much of the Dunbine plot we've covered by this point. I'm just curious if we're like trying to really truncate this to then get our aura battlers out back to the surface world without them needing to betray their motivation to want to stay to make sure like Drake is dealt with. Or is Drake more like the mid boss of the series and Todd's gonna actually be the final boss or something? But otherwise, that will do things for me. Pretty straightforward scenario, but I think this will be a fun one to plan around in the future. But the future for me is going to be more W and more of this game. And maybe still GC. I don't know when this is coming out. Maybe I don't think we're that close to finishing. And then Fantasy Maiden Wars on Fridays. So if you like any of that, there'll be more coming up. Even if we're going to be off for a little bit of time, depending on the end of the year. So stay tuned. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching. You definitely make me feel like I am doing something that people are like excited for. It's great to hear. You know, I said this a couple times recently. Like it floors me that there are like multiple people that are active in chat to the point where like I can't keep up with chat all the time anymore. I get a smile on my face every time it happens. So thank you for all being around and participant. It warms my heart. But yes, okay. So actually for real now, goodbye. Thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next one.